Welcome, thank you for watching. This video is about Icarus. I've installed this game, played it, got killed a few times, uninstalled it, thought to myself, okay, wait, let me try again. And the next time around when I was actually playing again, I actually got the hang of it. It does kick you a few times, so don't, because the thing is you might get killed, then you respawn. So there's a few tips that I'm going to share that help me, and hopefully it helps you. Okay, so my first tip I would say is that wherever you, for instance, spawn, close to the spawning point, in this case when you come down with the rocket, for instance, then you can build a base. That's my first thing. I build a base just by the rocket, so that when I respawn, then my base is just there. Also made a few items together to actually get either a bedroll, for instance, like a camp, so that once you respawn, you can set that as your respawn location. So the first thing that you do is you get like one of those like camping bags that you can actually sleep in. So that's the first thing. Then of course, as you level up, then you can get a bed, and that looks a bit better, and that. So the next step I would say is that as you move on, get a place that is a bit central. So my first big base was close to, like I said now, close to the starting point. You'll see in this video that I've made, you'll see where the initial base is close to the satellite. I've made a marker there where the home is. That's where I built my first place. There close by, there's caves, there's animals, there's water, there's all the necessary resources. And also there is some points, like veins that you can actually tap into later in the game. It's also in a way central, because if you go a certain way you get to the desert, if you go a certain way you get to the actual snow. So in this specific starting video, I'm showing my main base. So this is actually the third, you can say not third, actually fourth, fifth, sixth place that I actually built. But this is my main place now. So the bottom section is more the entry stuff that you get. So your anvil, your entry, your first, because you get stages where you build. So the first stage, for instance, it's you can just go outside, get it, and then as you go up, for instance, you can't craft it anymore yourself. You actually need a crafting bench, and then you need a higher tier crafting bench. So in this specific house, it's tiers. So the first tier, the second tier, the third tier, you can almost say. And then I've expanded, so it's also not that, because on the same level you actually get almost like one of the last tiers, one of those crafting benches. So I played a while and got a sheep, because I saw there was wool, and some of the crafting stuff actually needs wool. So then immediately I went to actually get wool. So that's the next point that I actually wanted to also share, is that one good thing is that in the caves, because it's starting out, in the caves you get these looks like purple rocks, exotics. Now exotics, for instance, it's also very good. I'm going to interrupt myself, but it's also very good to actually go and get your pickaxe level up. So not just to add a stone, but to go into iron, and to go up, for instance, platinum, and so onwards. To rather go up, because the higher you can get your skills and the higher you can get your pickaxe, the more you can actually gather at a time. So that's very important, because if you can get 20 plus exotics per cave, that would then be, you can get let's say 5 caves or 4 caves, for instance, you've got your 100, and so onwards. And then, of course, if you want to actually get the sheep, for instance, you're going to need to then save up and get as much exotics and discover as much caves as possible. That also brings me to a different tip. So when you're starting out, also have a look. If you follow like the mountains, if I can put it like that, then have your pickaxe at hand, because sometimes it looks like a wall, for instance, like a rocks, but you can actually go and you can actually there's certain places where you can actually gather the stone, and then you're actually opening up a cave. So there is those also. So later on you can actually get your almost like dynamite and stuff like that, and you can get cave scanners and that, so you can actually find it easier. But if you like exploring, like I actually like exploring and just walking around for countless hours and minutes, then by all means have a pickaxe in hand, and then just hover over the actual mountain as you go. Follow the mountain, and then you'll see, for instance, it opens up, it shows rock, for instance, or so, and then you can start to hit it, and then you open the opening. So the next part is that you, like now, for instance, I've crossed a vein, and I've crossed 2 different types of veins. So this specific one is an enzyme, so that's also like exotics, and the other one is more of a mineral. So you get your iron, you get your platinum, you get your sulfur, you get your the oxygen juice blue rocks, for instance. You get different types of veins. Those veins is actually very, very good, but you also need to be careful, because those veins are also going to, if you get the actual mine, the actual one that you can gather the resource from later on in game. This is all late game, for instance, when you actually get those. So I haven't actually gathered those yet, because I've invested in it, but I haven't actually crafted the actual thing that you actually need in order to do it. I've got minerals and everything, but yeah, there is some minerals that I would personally say is very scarce, so you need to also keep in mind about that. So you also need to manage your resources. Some resources like woods, for instance, you'll see it's all over, rocks all over. Some resources like iron, for instance, it's so much at the end, at this specific point where I'm in now, I've got so much iron that I don't even want to gather it anymore, because I get too much and I don't use all of them. So this is the second base. This is the second actually main base, you can almost say, that I made. This cave does not normally look this empty, but I've completely emptied this cave out, along with quite a lot of other caves. There's one specific cave that I'm not showing this video, but that cave is so massive. It's something else. You're going to need to have like med kits with you, and you're going to need to just keep track of how you actually going to a certain point, and because it's going to be quite a while before you get out also, but also there's so much resources in that specific cave. It's in the desert, that it's unreal, but it's actually quite nice to get. And my main base is not that far off from that specific cave, just to give an idea. So you get lantern, so the L at the bottom is for lantern. Also very important when you go into a cave. First thing that I normally do when I go into a cave, I grab my knife, like a knife or something that I can actually kill the worm, because there's worms and there's bees. Sometimes bees you need to check. There's like this bees at the top, for instance, round about at the top, but you can see them because they're going to spawn from the beehive. So you can just take a knife or whatever, hit the beehive, or axe or pickaxe or axe, hit it, it will actually break, and then you can gather it, because the bees is going to be very annoying. It can actually cause quite a bit of damage. Yeah, and then with regards to, so that's the first thing. So I go in, see if there's any worms, because the worms is going to attack you. So I first check the worms, then of course before I even go in, lantern to actually light up. So it's definitely worthwhile investing in a lantern or something a bit higher up, not just a piece of wood with a cloth or something on top, because that just makes a slight bit of light, but the higher you go up, the more light, so the better it is. So later on you get your electricity, you get your water, for instance, that you can connect to your bases. But the main base, I'm not sure if you saw it, there is actually connections with water, electricity, all that going. So it's like pipes that you have that you can lay in your actual place. You'll see here, for instance, there's fish that you can fish, there is animals that you can kill, for instance. Now you also get your skills. As you go up with your skills, you can actually make it that not all animals is going to attack you. And also if you get a like if you tame animal, because you can also tame it, there's also certain perks that you can tame certain animals and that. So if you tame certain animals, then you can actually then, like in this specific case, it's like a horse that I've actually got, and that you can help, go from one place to the other place. In this specific case, moving from the one house to the other house, like I just did. And being so fast, the animals is not going to actually catch up. That brings to a different point. You also need to watch your stamina, because a lot of things that you do take stamina. And if you are going to run too much and exhaust all your stamina, then if something happens, then you're not going to have enough stamina. It's also when you go sometimes into some of these caves. These caves can be, for instance, you can get certain illnesses in the cave, and then your stamina is like almost none, and then you're going to struggle a lot. So be very, very, very careful how you use your stamina. You can kill the fish either with your axe, you can kill it with a fishing rod, for instance. You can build like a trap. So in my main place, there is 2 traps outside. So there's more than enough food. And the thing also is that with the wall that I've got and the barricade that I've got, the animals runs into it and they try to get off and that, and then they kill themselves. And also when I'm spotted, I also kill them. So I've got way too much meat and stuff in the other place. There's a lot of different tricks that you can actually do, but one of the things is try as soon as possible to up your access, your pickaxes, your all of that. Try to go as fast as you can to level those up, and try to also keep, if you craft, for instance, an older one, keep it in your base, because what happens is that if, let's say, something happens and you get killed, then you have a backup at your base to actually get back to you where you actually died. So there is a few things that you can do like that. Also, even if you need to make temporary bases, they can save you. And there is medibags, for instance. You'll see there's different tiers: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. Be very careful for spending your points, because you're not going to have enough points to get everything. So you need to have a certain strategy of how you're going to play the game. If you, for instance, in my case, I don't like a gun, or like an arrow, or a bow, or that type of thing. So I didn't invest in it. I like my melee, so I'd rather go up to an animal and kill it with either an axe or a sword or something like that. There is other options that some people do. They tame the wolves, and then the wolf help them to also kill and defend. So in this case, like the horse type of thing that I've got, that can also, defend and help you out. So the screen is turning red because there's a certain poison that I've got. as you go on, you get medals. Now, the specific medals is if you, let's say, collect 50 wood and then 100, 1,000, and so onwards, you get a specific medal. There's also achievements that you can get. The map is very big, so this video does not actually show you the exact time that it took me from one place to the other place. It took me like 20 minutes just to, so the map is quite big. That's the other thing to keep in mind. But thank you very much for watching and enjoy.